Everyone, we're going to begin tonight's activities with a presentation from our Public Works Director concerning Connecticut Ave and Ferguson Avenue. Pat, you have the floor. Apologize for being a little late.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I had requested this short informational meeting on the gate closure up at the intersection of Ferguson Ave at Connecticut Avenue Extension. There's been a barricade in place for quite some time, probably back soon after Dodge Stadium was built. And at the time, there was significant volumes of traffic at Dodge Stadium, about approximately 4 times as many attendees at the games when it first opened than what they get currently. So at the time, there was a fear that people would be backed up at the intersection with down at coming out Connecticut Avenue, that traffic would back up at the light down on West Town Street, and that people would be tempted to circumvent that light by going over to Ferguson Avenue and coming down Ferguson Avenue. Well, that just doesn't happen today, and it hasn't happened for quite a few years. So when I was in the process of repaving this section of roadway earlier this year, I thought it would be a good time to re-examine, well, do we really need a barricade there still? For one thing, it creates a little bit of a maintenance issue in the winter storm maintenance for pre-treating the roads and plowing the roads. We've essentially got a very long cul-de-sac at Ferguson Avenue. So if we opened that gate up, we could then traverse that section more easily and provide better service to those mostly on Ferguson Avenue. And because Connecticut Avenue is a very important road for us in the wintertime because it's so steep, we really need to try to, we focus a lot on that because of the, we don't want to get, trucks tend to get hung up there. So it's going to improve the maintenance aspects, but you can see from this graphic here, this first graphic, that it's 3/10 of a mile longer if someone were to try to, from the business park, were to try to exit the business park by going that way. So we don't think that's a likely situation these days. On this next slide, it shows the distance that if someone lives at the northern end of Ferguson Avenue, there's about 20 houses at that northern end between Connecticut Avenue Extension and where the other barricade at the end of Ferguson Ave is. We have no intention of removing that barricade. That's going to stay in place. If that one was open, there would be an option for some people up in the business park to exit the business park that way. So we're not talking about opening that one. But the 20 houses that live up there in the northern part of Ferguson Avenue, say they're going to Iliano's and want to get a pizza. Well, they could then, now today they would have to traverse all the way down Ferguson Avenue down to Bean Hill and then travel further on West Town Street. Well, if that gate didn't exist, they would be able to save a couple tenths of a mile and get out quicker going down to the light. So we think that's an improvement for these, for the residents up there. Now, we also, we've just paved this road, as I mentioned, the whole thought came as we started. So we spent $50,000 to repave that, basically a quarter-mile section of road. So it's my thought that we should open it up to more of the public that live there than currently the situation allows. So also, I just wanted to show a comparison. Right now, we have certain regulations when you propose new streets that you don't want cul-de-sacs to be too long. From an emergency standpoint, you want a secondary means of access to that system. Well, we can gate and you can remove the gate, so it's not totally a cul-de-sac right now, but so emergency vehicles, but there is a delay in that time when it takes them to try to open that gate. So if we were to eliminate the gate, then really, instead of having a cul-de-sac essentially that's 1.1 mile long, the length of that Ferguson Ave, that north end cul-de-sac would only be a third of a mile. So it's a much safer situation for emergency services also. So that's basically it. Was, I didn't have a long presentation. I just want to say that I think that now is the time, based on the current conditions of what's going on at Dodge Stadium and the uses in the industrial park, that it would be appropriate to remove the barricade permanently there at the intersection. And we've repaved the road. We'll put centerline striping in on the roadway. We will put shoulder line striping to to make the lane width appear to be narrower, which helps with traffic calming, consistent with the complete street policy that was recently adapted. And we will, of course, add a stop sign to that intersection and speed limit signs. Currently, there's no speed limit signs on the road either. So there will be added signage and pavement markings in conjunction before we remove those barriers and open up the roadway. And so at this time, if there's any questions that the council might have.
Members? Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to say that the Public Works Committee has been talking about this now, Stacy, 2 meetings at least, right? And we've reached a point where we concur with the rationale that the director is using for this action. And we recognize that if the residents up there start to report back to us that traffic is becoming problematic, that we can address that in a variety of ways. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Gould? Oh, okay. Thank you. Other members, questions at this time? Just one, and it may not apply here, which is why I want to clear the table with. The Dodge Stadium itself is considered a traffic generator by the state of Connecticut. In that decision that dealt with Plain Hill, is there anything in that document that references these roads at all?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Thank you. That clears that up. Members, any other concerns, questions? Yes, Alderman Singh.
Quick comment. So I think it's full utilization of the resources that we are trying to do, and it's aligned with the complete street plan. So at this point, I don't really see any major problem, but of course, we can open it and maybe have a review period of 6 months or 1 year and see how it goes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. Anything else?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.